Hey guys, I want to talk about hijacking your sadness. This week and last week, I lost a friend, an old childhood friend, and we haven't talked for like 10 years, but we were insanely good friends for more than 10 years, and we lost him to cancer. And, you know, if you don't know anything about my story, is I lost my daughter about 5 years ago. And no one really gives you a course about how to grieve, especially I come from a background in my profession where in healthcare, if you display any kind of emotion, you're considered weak and incompetent. And so when I lost my daughter, I didn't experience emotion. I shut down. And then since I shut down, it's almost like, a car getting their exhaust plugged. I imploded. So if you do that to a car, obviously your engine's going to explode, and that's the same with grieving. But I want to tell you, I all those years ago, I went into serious suicidal ideation. It was really bad. Thank God and Jesus Christ that it got me out of it, gave me freedom. But even in this season right now, when I lost my friend, the enemy wants to hijack your sadness. And experiencing sorrow or the emotion, an analogy I'll say is it's like water that comes and flows over you, and you let it flow over you, right? And you experience it, and that's healthy, that's okay. But when you shut it down, I'll go back to my tailpipe analogy. You stop letting you you're not letting yourself have an exhaust pipe of experiencing emotion, so you plug it up or you shove it deep down inside, and that never works. It will make you implode. Or it can start manifesting in different ways. And it can start manifesting into bitterness if you've seen it in people, resentment, different things. But also more about hijacking your sadness. Every single time I become sad now, um, I'll use a different analogy. Is I used to struggle with alcohol. I don't drink alcohol for years, but whenever something bad happens in my life, I do get temptation with alcohol. It's a weakness, and we have an enemy who's very smart and will attack you from vectors that you're weak on, right? And I know everyone has their different vectors that they're weak on. But when it comes to sadness and sorrow and mourning, I'm trying to experience this sadness. I'm trying to experience this mourning, which is healthy. And anybody who tells you different is wrong. But the enemy starts attacking my self worth of, you're sad and you should go kill yourself. Well, obviously, speaking that out loud, you're like, no, that's horrible. But the enemy doesn't approach it that blatantly. You know, the enemy kind of makes it feel like a peaceful way of an out from the pain that you're experiencing. If anybody knows what I'm talking about, that they approach it with a thought of like, hey, this is a good way out to get. You're experiencing pain and mourning right now, and it's intense and it sucks. This is a way out. And when that happens, it's dangerous because when you come into agree, if you don't know, which I did not know 5 years ago with my daughter, is I started coming into agreement with that, and it creates a stronghold or a foundation for something far worse. But if you are in your own sadness, and it doesn't have to necessarily you being losing someone right now, but it could be any kind of different loss or sadness right now, don't let the enemy hijack your sadness. You have to fight with the shield of faith and say no. But also give on the flip side, when you're defending with the shield and you're hitting those thoughts back, which are, maybe it could be not even suicide, self-criticalness is a big one. Um, and you could be tormented with that vector from the enemy. Use the shield of faith, to push that back. But on the other side, you give yourself permission to feel sad, to be sad, to reminisce, not just ignore or run to social media or to videos to just distract yourself. I'm not saying, you know what? I went and saw a movie last night alone in a theater, and I know that sounds like really weird, but I like doing that sometimes. And also, I don't really have a lot of people in my life that want to hang out with me. Um, and the thing is that it was a time for me to just go and have a little bit of a distraction, which is okay, but there is a difference between having a little bit of distraction than getting consumed with it and avoidance, because I'm going to tell you that never works. As someone who avoided for years, that's a recipe for disaster. And going back to hijacking your sadness is once there's a wave, and you understand waves, it can be very big, but after time it starts dissipating. And this is when your sadness is not being hijacked into something else, which I already talked about, and you let that wave hit you, which is really intense, but it is going to die down. But the secret is you have to experience it. If you do not let yourself or your body experience it, then in some way you are, pushing it back, and the wave is actually still there. It hasn't dissipated. You've pushed it away. You do have options, which is kind of weird with emotions. You can push it away, push it down. You can ignore it, but that wave has not disappeared. That wave does need to dissipate in some way or another. And unfortunately, if you do not do that and you push that away, it's that wave or that energy is going to dissipate somewhere else in your life or break something else in your life. I hope someone else is picking this up right now. But the thing is the Lord wants you to experience the emotion. And He's leading me to say that He's always beside you and experiencing the same emotion with you. And you can actually invite Him in. And I just say right now, it's a very powerful thing. When you're in your sadness, when you're crying, just even if you don't understand it all and you're kind of angry, even at God, that's okay. I've been there. I've been there worse, actually hating God. Just invite the Lord in, because He cares for you. He knows when it's not okay. He knows that it's maybe going to take a couple of days or maybe weeks to get back to a baseline of normal. Our Lord is gracious, and He's not just there to just cattle prod you into action every 2 seconds. There is a season for mourning, like it says in Ecclesiastes. There's a season for growing. And I speak, life to you, that there will be new seasons, that don't be stuck in your sadness. There will be new seasons over your life. Be encouraged and have a good day.